The year criminal abortion began to be regarded as decriminalized, I was about to start college at the number 3 party school in America. Criminal abortion was still murder on the books of many jurisdictions, and my classmates all knew it was murder. And this they readily pointed out in any number of campus debates about free birth control of every variety. They all wanted it, and they were thrilled to hear about all this new news from the Supreme Court. And the coup de grace in every argument went like this. Well, of course, everyone knows it's murder, but the Supreme Court has made it legal. So now it is legal. And this is what they would confidently assert. And then this party generation would just go out and party, and they would solve every inconvenient pregnancy with a criminal abortion. And since then, America has become equally sophisticated in other criminal conduct as well. Earlier this year, 2020, shoplifting was decriminalized in many jurisdictions. Retailers soon learned that to apprehend a thief might land one in jail or on the losing end of a lawsuit. So thieves went out and they partied. They celebrated all these new rules. They gathered together in gangs and later in rioting mobs. Shelves were emptied in those sophisticated cities, and then business owners went out of business. And then came the season of politicized BLM looting. In the more progressive cities, looting and rioting were decriminalized, both of them, even as these crimes were being committed. And not only now were shelves emptied, but now they were burned to the ground along with the building which held them up. More businesses permanently closed. And with each night of violence came more celebrations and more recruiting of eager protesters, some of whom were paid $20 an hour to destroy block after block of the free market economy. And thanks to the sympathetic media, everyone was learning all about the proud new age of social justice. We knew we were being treated by them in the media to all the new terms and all the new definitions. And looters learned all these slogans and how to sneer and shout and threaten as they screamed out the latest. I mean, one earlier in the summer, anytime, any place, punch a Nazi in the face. And then, of course, later came no justice, no peace, shouted endlessly in the parades of people who went up and down city blocks and then moving into the suburbs to shout them at homeowners at all hours of the night. And so the message was clearly, if you are bourgeois, if you're successful, if you run a bourgeois business, you get no peace until we take all your merchandise. Looting is totally justified because the media says it is, and the best-selling books, they all say it is. It's reparations. We have a moral duty to burn down the system. And you watch us, and if you try to stop us, we've got plenty of attorneys who will send you to jail for something, racial profiling, or just bothering us or something. And then, later in 2020, of course, came the voting season. And by this time, all the celebrants really knew the drill very well. They were serial looters by this time, experienced, and they knew how to gang up together. They knew how to sign up as paid volunteers to steal, loot, destroy, to scoff at the law, and to make justice happen the insolent and impudent and angry way, their way. They knew how to rub everyone's face in the fact that Republicans are going to lose everything they have. And then the looters strutted boldly into their positions as the greatest vote fraud army ever assembled to loot every vote they could possibly loot. And they said, if you try to stop us, we'll call the cops, because we now are entitled to have our turn at stealing an election, to running an election. It's social justice, it's reparations, it's retribution. And all those racist Trump voters who think they have the privilege of voting for anyone they want, that's over now. And that privilege is going to go away and is going to stay away. Because this year, 2020, we get what we demand. And that's what they were telling us. And the media was going along in agreement. And so this is how the year 2020 has been playing out. It's been a year of larceny in the billions of dollars and in the millions of votes. And so far, no one has recovered all that merchandise taken from American retailers. And so far, no one has recovered the votes taken from American voters. And if these votes are not recovered, A crime boss will have stolen the presidency of the United States, and then he'll be sworn in. And of course, he won't mean a word of the things that he says as a promise and a covenant and a vow that he takes. And then what happens? Then he will rig the American system to guarantee the theft of every future election.